Alright guys, so this video is on how to find the area of a triangle. Okay, so pretty much the area of a triangle can be calculated by 1/2 base times height. Most of you guys remember that. And again, when you multiply by 1/2, it's the same thing as dividing by 2. The trick here is, again, remember how your base and height are always perpendicular, so just find the right angle, find the two sides that make them, and that's your base and that's your height. So here, if I wanted to find the area, it would just be 3 times 4. 3 times 4, and then I would just divide by 2, and then that's it. So in this case, I would get 6. And that would be it. On the next one, on the one on the bottom, same thing, same concept. Again, find that right angle. And when you find that right angle, those two sides will make up our base and height. But here right off the bat, red flag, I don't know one of them. You can't automatically, I'm just going to use two numbers. I'm going to use 4 and 5 and divide by 2. They must be perpendicular. So in order to find this piece in the bottom, well, just keep in mind how it's a right triangle, two sides, Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do Pythagorean theorem first. And since we know RC, we're going to subtract. And after I do the work, I get 3. So this is 3. So again, I ended up using the same numbers in this example, but just showing you can do Pythagorean theorem when you don't know one of them, given that you know the other two. So again, we would pretty much get the same answer here, since it's the same numbers. Alright. Alright, look at this next one. Again, same thing. We find our right angle. This time we don't know neither the base or the height. Pythagorean theorem is out the window now, because in order to use it, you must know two sides. Right now, I just know one. There's two approaches for this problem. You can either do SOHCAHTOA or law of sines. And I'm going to go ahead and just do law of sines. So for law of sines, my height, right, there it is. My base, here it is. Law of sines is very simple. It's just proportions. That's all it is. So I'm going to solve for h first, and now I know the 10, right? There's always needs to be something that you know. The h is across the 30, so I'm going to put sine of 30 here, whereas the 10 is across the 90, so sine of 90. Cross multiply. Okay, so it's going to be 10 times the sine of 30. And then whatever I get, I need to divide it by the sine of 90. And again, sine of 90 is just 1. That's why the answer is still 5. So I found out that my height is 5. Now I just need to find my base. I'm going to do the same thing. To calculate our base, this time I'll use the B. And B is across this angle right here. Remember, it's a triangle, so just subtract from 180, the angles you know. And that's why I know that the angle here is 60. And I could use the same one, or I could use the 5, but I'm just going to use the same one here. So again, a quick cross multiplication. This one's going to be 10 times the sine of 60. And whatever I get, I have to divide it by the sine of 90. Which again, sine of 90 does nothing to it. So 8.66, and that's what B is. Now that I have everything I need, I could find the area. It's just going to be 5 times 8.66 divided by 2. So the area here was 21.65. Again, Law signs, when you know an angle and a side, you can find the rest. All right, next up, we have an isosceles triangle. So in my isosceles triangle here, I know that if that's 10, this obviously has to be 10. Right off the bat, do you see any right angles? Nope, but you can draw your own. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this one right here, right down the middle, making it perpendicular. And because it's isosceles, if you were to imagine folding it, it would be right down the middle again. So these two pieces happen to be the same. So I automatically know that this is 6 and that's 6 because it got cut in half. I still don't know my height, but again, now if I was to only focus on one of the right triangles, I have something that looks like this, where this represents our height. So once again, Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so 10 squared minus 6 squared, and I get 8. And now I could find the area. Now you could find the area of this one and multiply it by 2, but why bother? Just focus on the big one. So on the big one, the base is 12, the height is 8. So 12 times 8 divided by 2. Okay? And then that's my answer. Alright guys, and that's how you find the area of a right triangle and just either an isosceles or equilateral.